Hello Access fans, how would you like another brilliant episode? You would? Go on then, cop a load of this. We've got the week's biggest news in our PlayStation briefing, a trip to Iceland for a first look at mega exciting shooter Dust 514, and our man Dan driving really fast in the name of Ridge Racer. But first, lock up your daughters and any demons you may have living with you, because Dante is back in our game of the week. It's the Devil May Cry HD collection. Think of the Devil May Cry HD collection as a crisp, poignant farewell to the steel-haired dreamboat we all either used to want or want to be. His PS3 trousers might have been stolen by a pouting hipster with a questionable fringe, but PS2 Dante knew how to cut it, and he looks sexier than ever thanks to this high-def scrub down. Naturally, your first port of call should be the 2001 original, a game that fuses twin pistol shootery with balletic swordsmanship and more trash talk than a stadium full of 13-year-olds.
Sword. Time to go to work, guys.
In a time when everything was shamelessly ripping off the Matrix, Devil May Cry punched above the swooping camera angles and throbbing techno beats with its memorable cast and sublime combat system. As such, Devil May Cry still holds its own against the action juggernauts of today, and if you don't agree, we hope you find one of these in your bathtub. Devil May Cry 2 shifts the focus from brawling in tight confined areas to brawling in big open ones instead. New for Dante are the abilities to dodge attacks like an overzealous parkour nut, scramble up the side of buildings, and have a lady friend called Lucia. Best of the bunch is Devil May Cry 3, which zips back in time to show the root of Dante's demon-slaying obsession. Oh, they ruined his pizza! For which the rightful punishment is of course death, followed by being used as a surfboard. It's not all flamboyant sleeve cams and schlocky one-liners, well it is, but it's also a story of violent sibling rivalry featuring Dante's brother Virgil. That is for breaking my action man, and now I'm going to slick my hair back just in case you're in any doubt as to how evil I am. After all these years, the Devil May Cry trilogy is still sharp, brilliantly absurd and full of frantic action. It's out now, and if you're a fan of killing demons or hair, you should take a look. Watch your step, folks, you're entering a news minefield. Yep, it's time for your PlayStation briefing. Hitting us with copious amounts of wub made-up words and a robot doing the robot this week is Borderlands 2, a cel-shaded sequel that makes the original look modest and understated. After trying the game out for ourselves, we caught up with Gearbox Software's Stephen Ball to talk all things Pandora.
The feeling of Borderlands 2 is a much bigger experience and much more world exploration. You know, you're going to see a lot more Pandora this time around.
Also on our must-talk-to list was Ubisoft's Tommy Francois, who was recently in London emptying a bucket of Assassin's Creed 3 flavoured wow onto a crowd of gobsmacked games journos.
We all have perceived notions of who Benjamin Franklin is, who George Washington is. It allows us to explore different facets of these characters and hopefully help the player learn things about history in a less boring way than going to school.
To finish off, Sackboy's back. The Hessian wonder has ditched grappling hooks and cake launchers for cardboard motors and wheels made of sponge for Little Big Planet karting. It's being cooked up by Mod Nation developer United Front, so expect a dizzying level of customisation and lots of blowing up other cars, in a mum-friendly, non-violent way of course. That's briefing done for now. We'll be back with more news next week. Time for a bit of digital retail therapy now as we take a look at what's on the store. First up is the reassuringly titled survival adventure I Am Alive, the irony being that the game is full of reasons you wouldn't be anymore, like getting tired arms while climbing a big bridge, or failing to establish proper relations with fellow apocalypse survivors. Washed out visuals and some tricky, innovative mechanics make this a refreshing, sometimes depressing take on what happens when we accidentally tread on civilization and break it forever. Pretty much the cosmic opposite of I Am Alive is Everybody's Golf World Tour Complete Edition. Not because your jaunty smiling golfer is dead, but because the game is about colour and fun and not being gang murdered by the last spark of humanity. Anyone who's been playing the PS Vita version of Everybody's Golf already knows how superbly Moorish this dinky arcade marvel is, and here's a great chance to jump into the bigger version. There's good news for PlayStation Plus subscribers, as from today you'll be able to download cracking Need for Speed branded racing sim Shift 2 Unleashed at no extra cost, complete with life-swallowing career mode, awesome night driving, and if you're us, lots of close-up views of concrete walls. If you haven't touched the rear of your PlayStation Vita in a while, then give it the satisfaction it craves with Treasures of Montezuma, a tilt-happy Make-3 puzzler with lots of pretty colours and jingly sound effects, available for download for absolutely nothing right now. We leave you with film-related chills, courtesy of monster prequel/remake The Thing. Following in the footsteps of the John Carpenter classic, the film features a shape-shifting alien making people into red sponge cake in Antarctica. This time with slightly less awesome creature effects, but with added Scott Pilgrim star and geek favourite Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Insert your own X-rated shape-shifting creature gag here, and if you've still got the stomach for it, watch the film too. That's all for now. We'll be back with more on the store next week. Driving like this in the awesome Ridge Racer Unbounded is, well, awesome, but even better, and it turns out more terrifying, is doing it in real life. Welcome to the Santapod Raceway in glamorous Wellingborough, where world record holder and car-based loon Terry Grant made time in his busy schedule of defying Newtonian physics to take us for a spin. Thanks to Terry and all at Namco Bandai for a brilliant day at the track. And remember kids, drive safe even if you're driving sideways. This week, Access All Areas comes to you from beautiful Iceland, where we stopped gawking at the amazing Blue Lagoon long enough to visit the EVE Online Fan Fest. What the heck are we doing at a PC gaming event? The answer is getting a first look at Dust 514, the upcoming PS3 shooter set in the persistent EVE universe. And if all that sounded like gibberish, here are the lovely folk from CCP Games to explain.
EVE Online is an MMORPG set in space where you are a captain. So it's a game about territorial conquest. It's a game about, blowing people up. And Dust is filling in a void. What happens on the planets? What war can we see on the planets? So with Dust, we're kind of taking a peek into that. It's a chance to affect other people in another game even, in EVE Online, with, every shot.
So if you want, you can blow up the ships of PC players all from your PS3. Excellent. In between all the keynotes, we caught up with some of the mega-dedicated EVE community and got their thoughts on Dust 514.
Looks like a lot of fun to be, a fast-paced shooter. Lots of cool vehicles. Anyone who played EVE, you'll like it. Same fittings, all that stuff.
I think it'll be interesting what's going to happen with it, because that might mean that more games will want to open up and do cross-platform gaming.
The interaction between EVE and Dust it's a brand new thing, so it looks very interesting.
Suitably stuffed with EVE lore and cocktails, we hit the FanFest party dreaming of all the alliances we'd make and the enemies we'd vaporise. Keep your eyes peeled for more Dust 514 coverage in the run-up to the game's summer release. Before we head off for another week, we just have time to show you a little secret something from everyone's favourite mind-tearing nightmare, Silent Hill Downpour. Should the hammering rain and roving squads of monsters get too much, you can always take shelter in the apartment found here, which when you get inside turns out to be the room from PS2's Silent Hill The Room. Complete with sinister patch on the wall and the most thoroughly locked door in the world. Finding the apartment doesn't get you anything except this gun and a pang of nostalgia, but luckily we really like guns. See you next week!